Okay, so this is a battle report between Ogre Kingdoms and the Warriors of the Dark Gods. We decided to go ahead and play another game, and I wanted to try some different strategies. Maybe become more aggressive this time than I was before. I was just trying to feel out what this what his army could really do, and I often do that when I'm playing a game in which it's not necessarily a serious tournament game. Sometimes I just like to see uh, the world burn. But this time we're going to try to change up a little bit and become more aggressive. I'm going to try to focus more on multiple charges. Okay, so I missed a couple of pictures, and this is the first turn. I get first. I get the Vanguard first. He Vanguards all of his hounds and barbarians up, as you can see. Um, the goal is to try to get at least 2 units to charge into his main unit somehow. Maybe by slingshotting my way through in close combat or what have you. I really want to get the all rock in there and get those 3d3 strength 6 impact hits, strength 7 impact hits going. But that's how it moves forward, like so. Here's another angle. Um, yeah, I decided to go with more of a lopsided deployment, as you can see. Um, I put the mercenaries right there in front of the Auroch, so if I have to charge, the Auroch can then charge and hit the same target possibly. It has a decently long charge compared to just the plain ogres, so it's not too far out of the way. Uh, in my turn, I decided to charge his vanguarding unit of hounds, and then on the right side, I charged the vanguarding unit of hounds. They fled. Those are the pink ones there. They fled right in front of his warriors, which is perfect. That keeps his warriors from being able to move unless those hounds move. So that's really good because they have to rally first and then they have to move in the following turns. So there's at least two turns those warriors are not moving. So as long as those hounds are there, I'm good. In fact, at that point I was like, well, I should just go ahead and treat his hounds as if they were my shaft, which is almost just as good. Yeah. In close combat, without having to say much, the Tuskers kill in close combat, and now that this is his turn, he's deciding to attempt some charges here. I can't really afford to take any charges right now with the Tuskers. So indeed, I will probably end up fleeing. That's one option. Another option is whatever hits the Tuskers, let them hit them and then just charge them as a reaction with the big gun. Which now in hindsight, I probably should have done that. So this is the image of the Tuskers fleeing. In his magic phase, he does quite a bit to my I forgot what those guys are called, bombardiers. So it's a fuzzy picture. I kind of hate having white backgrounds with battle reports. It makes it very difficult for some cameras to actually adjust to it, and it seems like it kind of dims your colors coming off of everything else. It's not really in effect here because I haven't finished painting this army. I'm going very slow with the painting of this army. This is going to be one of those armies I'm going to try to take a lot of pride into. I'm going with a if anybody's ever seen the anime, is called Attack on Titan. My ogres are going to have a unique look after I'm done with them. So he does about two wounds with the magic phase over here on my mercenaries. I moved my other Tusker unit up. He turns, in his turn, he turns the hounds around, which means they're still in front of him, still out in front of him, which is fine by me. Still gives me more time. He is he's being kind of careful with his his flying lord there. And oh, wait a minute, this is my magic phase, and in my shooting phase, the mercenaries kill his sorcerer on disc. So that's going to make him push harder, and he's going to really want to make moves now. Now that he's seen what the mercenaries with poisonous shots and the mark of change can do. He's not going to want those guys to stay on the board for very much longer. I moved my my tribesmen on the right up. Maybe I can get in and around the back end, or maybe I can slow down some charges, or maybe I can contain him, and so I can do some damage here. He charges his big what is it called? Dragon Ogre Centaur Ancient. He charges it into the tribesman unit. They flee and they run 12. Yeah, I didn't want them to flee that much, but they did. That was a unit off the board I could have had at the end of the game. It might have actually helped. So I'm really trying to feel this army out. Okay. So in my turn, I decided to make some charges. I forgot to actually take the picture. He did move his warriors forward somehow, and then I charged in with the with my bruiser unit, and the aim is to overrun with and I charge his hounds as well. The aim is to overrun with the mercenaries. I'm going to do that close combat first, so when they overrun, they're going to run right into the close combat with the warriors, which will give me 2 ogre unit charges into them. And over here on the flank, I charged the ogre's tribesmen into, I believe it might be his might have been his barbarians on horseback, and I've had my Tusker charge his chariot on the flank, so the chariot cannot. Yeah, and hopefully the mercenaries will be able to overrun, and into the front of that, the Tuskers charged that chariot. I don't know if this is because I have to redo this because the software is not quite right, but yeah, you gotta charge there with the chariot. Hopefully we can get at least 2 wounds in there, and he'll flee, and I'll be able to either overrun him or just run him off or he'll just run off the table. I don't really want to deal with him because I know I'm going to need those guys, because we already lost a unit of tribesmen for no reason. Over here on the right, the tribesmen should take care of those barbarian horsemen, and I'm going to turn the Tuskers towards the middle close combat, which should not be there if I roll decent. And over here in close combat, I don't roll decent. In fact, I fail at doing any damage from impact hits. All impact hits from both units failed. And I only scored 1 stomp wound. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. 1 stomp wound. But we did do quite a bit of damage, but he was still able to make his leadership somehow. I think he rolled like a 4 or something like that. Oh man! Then he countercharges with his Manticore Lord and his trolls. Oh, this was terrible. I mean, if I had rolled average on impact hits, that would have blown that unit away. Oh man, what can you do, huh? This almost makes me want to go out and buy some more beer just to soak in, just to bathe in my sorrows. So in close combat, I lose quite a few mercs against this guy on Manticore. I challenged with the sorcerers, so he's in close combat. He's in a close combat challenge with the sorcerer, so he's not really able to hit me with the trolls. But that doesn't matter. I break from close combat. He pretty much destroyed my other unit. They were caught by the man over here, the BSB. So, because I rolled like a double one to flee, and that's what happened. Oh man, the Tuskers. I don't know what they're gonna do. I think I'm gonna charge them into the flank of his general. Maybe I might be able to score some wounds with the impact hits, and maybe he might do as much damage because the nature of chaos. Warriors of the Dark Gods, generals, they usually don't do a lot of damage on their own. They usually have to have some type of help from magic or a monster. There have been times when I used to use this particular special character. In the last game, he had like 10 attacks and automatic, and there was no armor saves against his attacks, and then he would still fluff somehow. He would roll like 3 wounds or something like that. But not this guy. This guy just rips off the Tuskers' heads and plays volleyball with them with the trolls. And the trolls enjoyed playing volleyball with the head of the Tusker and his beast. And I decided to charge into Auroch to show him that I'm not a punk. Maybe that Auroch might be able to break those trolls, because they only have regen, right? And then over here, I charged the Tuskers into the BSB. He's only got 2 wounds, right? It should be able to do some wounds against a BSB with impact hits, right? Well, that's a lie. That's a lie on all fronts. I got hit on the flank over here by the dragon centaur ancient. In close combat, he breaks the mercenaries, and he does. He's overrun and killed that unit. That's not good. This is winding down now. I don't know. I guess I had a bag of dice that I usually use, and I decided this time that I decided to forget my dice somewhere in the house, and I got out to the store and realized I didn't have any dice, and so I bought some new dice, and this is what happens. They kill the Auroch easily, but now I have the Auroch taking out 2 trolls on his way out. The centaur takes a wound from the guy on top of the Auroch. The Tusker, he kills one of the Tuskers, and he's gonna the Tusker breaks. He runs him down, and then after that he moves everything away, so I can't really get to anything. I would do the same thing because I would I don't want anything crazy to happen like what happened in the middle of this board to happen to me. So he moved all of the stuff out of the way. So I couldn't get to it. But I'm just so happy that he let me have something on the board at the end. Because if I were playing against him, I think he knows that I would not do the same for him. But anyway, it was a fun game anyway. Hopefully I can get more games in with this particular opponent. I've been trying to search out more games to play with more opponents around my area now. But maybe I can get a game in with my beast herds against this opponent with his warriors or one of his many other armies. So that'll be fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Comment, subscribe if you already have not. Have a nice day.